Hey everybody, welcome back. It is week 4 on the AMT 12-inch vinyl characters of Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, Bones, and Scotty. In the video you'll hear me say I'm going to get these done, and yeah, it didn't happen. Lots of little things. Got very close as you could tell from the picture. So yes, I was happy I got the flesh tones, getting the eyes worked on, getting those taken care of, getting the equipment finished, and now all I got to do is do some more touch-ups and get the bases done. But yay, they're almost there, almost. So with that, if you guys are new to my channel, click on the subscribe button, click on the little bell, and you know every time I upload. And thank you again, guys. Last time I looked, 504, so I'm very, very, very happy, very thankful. So, yay! Also with that, if you see me doing something during this video, or you go back and watch my other videos before I started doing the separate build videos, either way, if you have a question about something I did, have a question on how I came about figuring it out, or if you're in a build and you have some questions maybe I can help answer, or whatever, just chat, email me at bucktmore@gmail.com or put it in the comments. Also in the comments you can put, hey Buck, good job. Hey Buck, okay, not the way I would have gone, but heck, it works. And seriously, Buck, what the heck were you thinking, man? Put those in the comments and I answer within 12 to 24 hours. So with that, let's get to the bench and see the captain. Good morning. It is Wednesday and I am back in the studio. Took yesterday off because with the blizzard and then Amber being sick, we haven't seen our grandkids in 2 weeks, so it definitely was needed and much missed and loved, and oh, it was so good to see them. So yay, I got to see them. That's why I took yesterday off. But what I'm going to start doing now is I'm going to get these guys, as you can see, even, you know, I airbrush, and I told you guys this is a semi-gloss. It doesn't always go great, or it takes lots of layers. So I'm not going to reload the brush. I'm going to see if I can just do this. Just, you know, basically dry rub, let it dry a little bit, and then I'll put on another coat. And just keep walking around and looking. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm just doing a little fix on the boots. And then I'm going to get, after I get the boots started getting them ready, they're drying, then I am going to get working on the heads. I want to get those, getting those up and finished. Sorry with all the ums, guys. Sorry, just looking. My plan is to have the crew finish this week. And that's my big plan, is I want to get these guys finished this week. It shouldn't take that much longer. Still got, like I said, detail painting, but for the most part, these guys are dang close to being done. So yeah, I need to get these guys finished. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna get out the boots, and when I get started on the heads, I will turn the camera back on, and you guys can join me for that. So see you in a bit. Good afternoon. It's Friday, and yep, back at it. Been a couple of days. Other things going, but first I want to show you. I'm using the Vallejo shifter, green, gold, cold blue, to give that very deep hazel greenish eyes that Mr. Leonard Nimoy had, Mr. Nimoy. So I've got that in there, first pass right now, just see how it brightens up, and then I'll do the iris. But I did. I have Spock's hands and Bones is on. I have Captain Kirk's on. I got to do a little bit of touch up on his pants, but there is the captain. And I wanted to say, well, you know what? I'm not going to do it without you guys. So let's do Mr. Scott. So these can be kind of interesting to mess with, these vinyl pieces. I mean, they're nice, but dang, sometimes they can be a bit nitpicky. And so yeah. Alright, so basically the easiest way is you see that line right there. That's where that piece meets, and some of them aren't that good. I mean, this is good. You can see it right there, but a lot of them aren't. But it's neither here nor there. So basically all I did is I got my X-Acto knife, and with a good blade I just started cutting around, and then I'll trim up if I have to. Always don't be afraid to trim. Trust me on that. Don't be afraid to do what you need to do to make sure that piece within reason fits very, very good. Because I've had to modify Captain Kirk's hands. I had to really go crazy and sand the heck down out of them. So here is Mr. Scott. So I want to just make sure. So now you see that? You see that space in there? That's where they told you to cut it, but it should have been even further up. So, easy enough. I say easy enough. So, I've used, I kind of been using this guy. Let me see if I can find the right one. These are my sand bricks. Okay, there we go. I used it, and I've had to go in and just sand down some of the vinyl, which is fine. I mean, don't be afraid. If it's not working, don't get ticked at it. Just take care of it, modify it, make it somewhat get in there, or, you know, fit better. Because trust me, we've all had to do that being builders. And so, alright, so that's just a little bit of the sanding. So I go and I just take a look at the fit. Now you see it's getting closer, it's getting better, still needs more. And part of that is the top here. So sometimes if I see just like certain areas that need a bit, I'll concern on those for a second. And I always try to keep blending down. I don't want any uneven, you know. Okay, so now again, get all the little burrs cleaned up, and we'll check. Getting close. See that? Getting really close. So here we go again. Let's get some more out. Some more off. Okay, and I just thought I'm going to take that off. Okay, so that looks good. But don't forget, even if the front's starting to look good, don't forget to look in the back. It's getting close too. And I know my big fat finger was right in the way, so. Sorry, guys. And sometimes after I got to the point that I want, I'll do that, just do an overall flat sanding to it all, just to see where it's at. So, just a wee bit more. Give their old guy come, you know. Only Mr. Scott. Alright. Again, I'm going to just keep checking, and I'll clean that up. Just almost right there. It is about darn on. There almost, but not quite enough yet. So, and as you see, I may be sanding the whole thing, but I keep changing the way I'm, you know, up, down, side. That way it gets more of an even. Because if you just sand flat, sometimes it'll rock back and forth while you're doing the sanding. So it's easier to go around and make sure you just keep changing up. Alright. Almost. 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 Okay. Like I said, these are just right there. And sometimes if you need to check, make sure in here where you're putting the parts cleaned out, because I run into the problem when I get ready to start something and I've already glued something, I forgot that the glue ran over, and it's like, well, how did the glue get in there? Oh yeah, that's right, because I did it. So make sure your joint areas where you're joining the pieces together, one, it fits, and if it's not fitting, first check out where you're going to, because it might be, the cleaning might be glue or super glue or something that you did, and it just happened to go in there. So, okay, just looking. It's just almost right there. I'm nitpicking, guys. I mean, I really am. I am. And I do a little at a time just to make sure I don't take too much. Okay. Alright, I'll show you that in a second. Let me get it cleaned up. Okay. So, that's all that. That's what I'm looking for. And the same thing on the bottom. If I can get my finger in there. So, yay. Okay. Sorry guys, just having a look here real quick. Okay. Alright. So, you'd think putting glue right here on the hand would be a good idea, you know, that joint. Yeah, well I find out sometimes that don't work so well. So actually I go into here onto the part and I put my CA right there. I get it in there and I go that way. So, now comes the fun part of, I'm just looking to make sure everything is matching up the twist the way his hand is. Okay, there we go. Not too shabby, I say. Oh, and then yeah, sometimes that happens too. Okay. Darn thing. Like I said, sometimes you gotta, I thought I had enough glue, and yeah, I should have put a little bit more on the side there. That's alright. Alright, let's try this again, Mr. Scott. Take your hand, please, sir. I'm going to put that pressure on it, just so I can take a look and get it going. Okay, I think... Sorry, I really look at that. Okay, that's going to have to work for right now. Maybe. See, this is what happens too when I start really looking at things. I start nitpicking how they're fitting in. I will definitely do that. I'll keep the part from getting set. Darn! Sorry guys. I should have just left it go at the first time, and I didn't. That's okay. Alright. Okay. Don't worry, there definitely will be editing. Honestly, you know what? It just doesn't... It's close, but it's just not... Maybe that's the problem. That's easy enough to just square away. Just take my X-Acto knife and I'll scrape that off. And my scissors. Now, I gotta get new scissors too, because every time I close them, they spring open. I've had them a very, very long time. Alright. So that means I needed to do a bit more sanding because it was almost fitting. It looked good. It looked really good. But not enough. And there's some areas that I needed to sand on a little more, I guess. But that's okay. This is what happens. So don't get frustrated and you know, anticipate that. You know, sometimes the parts go, hey, man, that was amazing. That worked out great. And there's other times you've been fighting with it for a day or two and you can't, you know, it's going to happen. But also what can happen is you get so into looking at it and making sure everything's right, you can start to find the little issues that you don't want, or you still have. Okay, that's much better. Okay, so this time, yes, and I will get that repainted. I will put glue here. Make sure I really get around the side. Okay, and I will also put a few drops onto his hand just so it does what it needs to. Okay, and I usually cap it right back away. I also need to wipe it down, but I can do that later. So, hey, look at that. I actually got a hand. And now the fun part of holding it till that glue sets, and because I do have the quick spray stuff, but I don't want to do that right now because that stuff, I've used it, I like it a lot, but it gives me a headache for some reason. Okay, there we go. Enough patch. Alright, that one is done. Okay, and trust me, I probably went back through and edited the heck out of this thing to cut down some time. So, alright, let's get to the last hand. Again, you see that line right there. So, we'll start there. And if, you know, this vinyl cutting, it's good. Just don't go, you know, it's not gonna scrape as good as some of the styrene we've used, because this is vinyl. Alright, you saw that. So here, just where I cut it. So remember guys, that's where it told me I should cut, and look, that one is really almost right there. Look at that. That is awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sand a bit off, and make sure it's as even as I can get it. And okay, we're going to clean up. And alright, let's see how well this is going to do. Okie dokie. Alright, here we go. Oh, dang! Look at that. Dang. I'm just trying to find that, oh, sweet spot where it's supposed to be at. And okay, so that's, is that how you're supposed to go? Like that? Yeah, that's what it looked like. Sorry guys. It's supposed to go, I mean, this is what's the hard part about it. Sometimes you think it's supposed to be right on it and it's not. So I'm going to cut to the end, so don't change channel. And here we are at the end. Sorry guys. Well, I had to go and shave more down, or sand more down. And as you can see, it's almost there. But you see that little bit right here? That is not, it's not wanting to set right. So that's something you should look to when you're putting hands or doing anything. If that was supposed to sit better, and it's not, you might, even if you sand the whole thing flat, remember it's going to have different ratios to it, aspects. So don't be worried about just sanding like I'm just doing here on the top, because I just want to get that a little bit tighter. And let's see. Okay. All right. And you see what I'm saying? It's just that point right there, just a little bit more. And there'd be people who'd be like, "Oh, I could, you know, I can live that." I can't. If I can fix it, I am going to fix it and do what it needs to do. That's the kind of builder I am. And trust me, you guys know I'm still, I still have the Enterprise Constitution that I need to get finished. But I gotta go back and redo a couple things because I thought it was good, and then yeah, when I got the saucer on, it was great, but then it just, the neck fooled around and it just gave me an issue. So I'm taking a break from that, but that gets away from the point. So I shaved that top down a little more. Okay. So one, it should fit really, and I mean it's still just that right there that's bugging me. It's like, come on. And I know it doesn't seem like much, but it is. It just, with my T.B.I. and my memory and my ACD, or my OCD, my ADSD, everything, it just, I got to try to do better. Okay, look at that. There's still a little bit, not much. There's just a bit. So, again, I will just do this side, because the bottom of it is fine. It's sitting in there. Okay, now there we go. Look at that. And then I'll come check the bottom. And now it's just a point of placing. But I can live with that. I can live with that. I can definitely live with that. Okay, so again, Um, just make sure everything's out of there. Get my little brush. Let's do that. Okay. Again, I will get in the corner here the best I can. And then I will give Mr. Scott's hand a little bit of, okay, cap on, let's go. Alright, just set you there, twist you just a bit, just making sure. Okay, check that out. We now have Mr. Scott's hands on. Yay! So, cool, I can touch up the paint. And also I was trying to, I want to show you this, guys, if I can find it. I got everything here, just all spread out. Okay, here's Mr. Spock's instructions. So, on these, the first ones, look at this, they give you everything. Flesh tone, eyes brown, hair black, everything, okay? Same with Bones and Kirk. They give you that awesomeness. Okay, this is what these eyes is, yeah. Alright, so here is the highly detailed vinyl model kit, which it is. It's a very nice kit. This is what they give me. There is nothing about his eyes. There's nothing except, hey, this is what, Odo and Quark are coming. So here they give you, unlike the other ones, JVJ, SV, JS, JS. Okay. So with that, they give you, AMT gave you this little lovely, their color guide for, So I'm looking, okay, so that's got to be the eye because that's what's pointing right at the eye. Well, they say flush. And yeah, we know that's not right. So I went on Google and I found some great pictures of Mr. Nimoy. And the closest, like I said, I could get possibly is doing that pale green, gold, cold blue. So that's where I'm going with that. So now let me get things together and let's see if we can't get Captain Kirk, Bones, and Mr. Scott some hair. So, alright, let me get things switched around. Alright, well, first things first I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get the iris painted in. So, let's see. Scotty and Captain Kirk both have brown eyes. So I'm using the T.B.I flat brown XF10 because that's going to be a really good approximation of what I want. So this isn't the hard. These are some really great eyes to work with because they're very well defined. I mean, you can see the iris and then you see the pupil right there. So yay. And I'm not worried about painting over the iris just yet because I want to make sure I get all that done. And then as you see that, darn, that's the great thing about gloss is I can do that because there was just way too much paint on the brush. Even though I didn't think I put that much paint on the brush, there was a little bit of paint. Okay, that's better. And then I can go back and touch up with the white later. But as you can see, I just want to make sure I've got the entire eye. And don't worry about if you got a little blade over like that. It's okay. You can take care of that in the finishing touches. That's going to be easy. But again, all I do is just get my brush down there. Just kiss it. Make it feel welcome back in this, in the studio. And now what I'm doing is I'm just making sure I've gotten all sides really good. And like I said, if I have to, I can touch up the white. That's the easy part. So there. So you see how that eye is better than that eye by a lot. So I'll have to fix that one when it dries. So I'm gonna have to put another. But that is there. Neither here nor there. All right. Now here, Mr. Scott, you can actually really get a good idea because this guy's got some amazing big eyes. Love this. So you can see the bit of the outline of the iris, and that's what I'm working at. I'm using those lines that are those details that they put in there so I can see what the heck I'm doing here. And like I said, sometimes it's like eyes can be great, or it can be a pain in the behind, trust me. Because now I gotta look, okay, does that look right? Okay. And then if it doesn't, I can touch it up later. But again, this is even better. Now you can actually see that line there, and I know how far I need to go. And not get all the way in there. Okay. Definitely going to have to fix a little bit more on that one, but that's fine. That's always going to happen, guys. You're always going to have to do that. Even, you know, don't be afraid and don't get mad because, oh man, oh, because I do it still. Even I do it still, especially when I'm trying to do detail line painting. I'm like, ugh, gets you frustrated. But I don't let it, it frustrates me sometimes, but I don't let it kick my butt. And here's another thing. A lot of people, I do have water for my brushes. I will do the first clean off in the water, but then I take my thinner, and I have found this to be the best way to get my brushes good and clean. And I will show you that after I get after I get Bones' eyes painted. Go back and fix that. I just want to make sure I've gotten this iris was way bigger than this iris, so I just went out a little bit more, and then that way I can come back later and I'll touch that up. So now for the cleaning job. Oh, and another thing, guys, when you take in your painting, don't put the lids like this, because I keep kicking myself in the butt because I'll take it off and I'll start mixing and I'll put it down like that. You know what happens then, right? Paint drops. So, all right, well, there we go. I'm going to get on with the hair, and Scotty's good. It's black. Kirk's is light brown. Scotty or Bones is brown, dark brown. So, yay! So I'm gonna start on that. So let me get things moved around and rearranged, and I'll come back. Start that. One thing I forgot to show you guys. I was gonna show you a better way to clean the brush. So what I do, especially with this little paint that was on there, is I will take my thinner. I will rub the brush into there. Let's sit a second, do that. Then I will take my paper towel and I will clean. Or I'll, you know, squeeze the brush. And then sometimes it doesn't work, especially with things like blue and all that. It gets a little crazy, so. And you'll know if it's clean when you go to do that and there's really nothing coming out, or you can do that. You can see a little bit, but not much. So now I know that brush is clean. All right. Let me find the brush I need to do with this, so I'll be right back. Alright, got that done. Now, here comes the fun part, is finding, let me see, do I have anything here that would work better? Maybe, let's see. Just click on these guys, they don't have a big dowel like I used to. Nope. Alright, let's try another one. Because the problem is I just cut his face off too. That's alright, I can deal with that. Alright, so I got a bigger brush. And now comes the fun part of just getting it in there. So. And then just, sometimes you just gotta be light when blending into that spot you just did. And then I definitely try to pull a lot of the paint back as I'm going. It helps, one, it thins it down a bit, and it'll create more depth, more character to it. But the first thing, like I said, I try to always do is get in here and start getting the where I did the paint around the edge, you know, the hairline, and then just kind of go to town. Not much to it. Just have a little bit of fun doing it. That's how I am. So now, oh, yeah. See, that's why you don't cut the part off until you're ready. And I thought it would be ready, but I messed up. But that's all right. So again, like you see, I just start blending. I get the brush loaded, and I just, like I said, I go to town, and Ding fingers, I tell you. And then that way I can kind of definitely look. Because even, you know, it looks like you got it covered. You need to roll the head, because with hair, it may look one way, but you turn it the other way, and yeah, so make sure. And even after it starts to dry, and as it's starting to get to that good point of dry, I will touch it up right then and there if I have to, because I don't want it to have those you know, like, oh shoot, I did that there. So. Sorry guys, I'm not saying much, just, okay. And as you can see, like even right there, even turning this up and around, sometimes you can see areas that I need to get to. So, yay! So now as it starts to dry, I can go back and take a look at his hair and make sure I'm happy with that. But for now, I want to get this set to the side to dry and not roll anywhere. Nice hoping. Give me a second, guys. It's not wanting to play nice. Might have to. Where are you? Sorry, I was looking for something I had. Crud. Alright guys, give me a second. I'll find it out and I'll come back and I'll share with you what I did. Okay, well, Q-tips to the rescue. And so I put a lot in there. Don't worry, I can reuse those. So now, since it was rolling, I just want to go back and make sure, because this, like I said, this is flat. And like I said, the reason I want to get it clear coated is as soon as I'm happy and it's dry, is because flats like to definitely chip like nobody else's business. So there we go. Now I'm going to set him to the side and let that get all nice and good and dry, and yay! So alright guys, well, I'm going to get on to Mr. Scott and Captain Kirk, and when I get those guys finished, I will turn the camera back on and share with you. Alright, well, not so quick to Captain Kirk and Mr. Scott. I forgot to show you the eyebrows. Those are usually also one of the last things I do. Eyebrows can be very tricky-ish, or just give you a really good long hard so. But it's basically the same thing as I did with the hairline. I'm just like I said, I don't have a whole lot of paint on my brush right now, because I just want to make sure I don't have too much and everything start to spread. And I probably should have waited till the hair on top of his head was a bit more dry. But now, you know me, I gotta go right into it, just like I always do. But I'll go ahead and get this eyebrow finished, and then I will do that. I will wait for the paint to get all the way dry. But again, the eyebrows, just the same as the hairline and all that. Just take your time and make sure you are happy. And again, I'm at a point where I'm just trying to let the paint do the brush and the paint do 90% of the work, or more of the paint, so I don't have to go crazy. Alright, well, that's where I'm going to do it for now for Bones, and I'll wait till his top of his scalp dries, and then I'll go back and finish the other eyebrow. So for now, I'm going to get back onto the Captain and Mr. Scott. Before I get started on Captain Kirk, his calls for light brown. So what I did is I took the Vallejo 71.075 sand or ivory, and then I mixed in drops of flat earth, and that gave me a really nice brown color that I was looking for. So that's where I'm going, guys. I just thought I'd share that with you. Like I said, since it's not a very big project, I maybe did a partial squirt in, and then I started adding, I added drops from my toothpick into that. So, alright, well, I'm going to get back at it. Well, good afternoon, Wednesday, and I'm getting ready to start getting the video put together soon. But I wanted to share, I have started getting the instruments taken care of. Got some touch-ups to do, that's of course. And then I started fixing their eyes. So, I'm very, very happy. So now I can start getting things together. I've gotten the base is all primed, so when I get ready to do that. But also, I wanted to show you, because, so here is the emblem that's slightly engraved into the badge. Spock's was amazing. Perfect. Very good to go. Then, Scotty. Not bad, I like it. But here's the funny thing. Out of all these with even little detail, there was no detail on this. So I'm having to fix this by eye, so I hope I can. I also went and outlined, or did around the badge with metallic black. And then what I did here with the Bones' badge is I went ahead and painted the whole thing, and then I'll go back in with gold paint and get it fixed up. So that's what's going on. The reason I didn't do anything yesterday is because I spent the day cleaning this studio of mine. I had to get it cleaned. Haven't done that for, I cleaned, but not a real good clean. So, all right, guys. Well, let me get some more paint touched up and start seeing what we can do by getting these guys done. All right, I'll be back. All right, guys. Almost getting there, but there's Captain Kirk. And I still got to do a little bit more black on Spock, but very close. Not much farther now. Mr. Scott. I'll have to look at those eyes a little more. And then Bones. So yay! And the equipment's almost ready. Let me share with you guys. Have to do a little bit more touch up there, but that's easy. And then the medical tricorder. So yay! I know I said I was going to probably get done this week, but I'm not going to get done. I'm not going to have them finished before I close this out. Just a lot, not like major things. It's just a little bit, the little bit parts, you know. Got to finish the stand, which is a transporter pad, and yeah. So not much further. Just a couple more days at best. But let me get these. Let's see where I can finish getting to today while these get dry, and we'll go from there. So I'll be back. Alright, let's have some fun. We'll start with Bones. I like how everything came out. His eyes are good. I haven't sealed it yet because I want to get it on here so I can double check how it looks to everything else that I did. And yes, I gotta get the Q-tips out. Ah, look at that. They're out. Okay. So kind of again like the hands, when I did those, I've already had it cut out, but I want to make sure that it's good and it's going to set in nice. I'm trying to see, as you can see, there's a little bit of roughness there, so and to grab this guy. Sorry I'm doing it off camera. I don't want to sorry guys, just trying to get it off camera. And what I'm going to do is after these guys dry, I am going to put a protective clear coat on, and then I'll go back and do some touch-ups and other things I need to finish. That's why I'm so sorry it is not going to be done at the end of this video, but hey, we're getting there. I'm getting there. So got my glue again. The only reason the equipment's not on yet is because I got to get it clear coated, sealed, so I can do whatever other little touch-ups I need to. So basically I'm just making sure there's a good ground or a good CA base, and here we go. Okay, check that out. There is Mr. Bones. All right. Okay. All right. Well, this is where I'm going to stop and get the video put together, but still got to do the bases. But here's the captain and his fizzer. Sorry if I jump around too much. And still got to do cleanup on that, but and then Mr. Spock's phaser and Bones and his medical tricorder, and then Scotty, his instrument is done. I just got to get a clear coat on it before it's that tool. But hey guys, so yay! A couple more days and I'll be done with these guys. So with that, have a good week. Have a good rest of your work week. Have a great weekend. And I'll see y'all back here on the bench.